whole and complete, and health is related to that, and even wealth, and so there's all that kind of meaning to it. It's being whole and complete.
Here's one
Sort
thing.
of like being perfect. And
Pretend this is a piece of paper. This, I've seen this with Brother Halverson. Sorry to keep reading. But
I thought
he said,
kind of boring.
what's that?
I thought he's kind of boring.
So, and that's perfectly fine. Well, I don't know, I guess Denise listens to it, but I don't know if any of my other family members who listen to it. But he said, pretend this is the Savior. Okay? He said, put out a piece of paper. This is one of his students. And pretend this is you. You're trying to become like him. You're trying to go close to him. You're trying to live with him someday. Okay? He said to that student, draw a line where you think the Savior's atonement starts kicking in. It helps you to get there. Draw a line on that piece of paper. And she said, well, this is what she did. This is what he said she did. She started going like this. No. She started going like this. No. Down here. She drew a line right there. Okay? And then Brother Halverson said to her, you're wrong. I knew I'd be wrong. You know, I knew it. I'm no good. I knew his atonement should have been down here or something like that, or up here. In other words, that's one of the things that I've felt too. Is at what point does the atonement start kicking in my life? I better be really, really good, otherwise it doesn't work. Brother Halverson said there is no way. There is no way. He is with you all the way. Period. You do not have to measure up to the atonement. Brothers and sisters, you don't have to do that. If there's anything you remember from any class of mine, is don't make the same mistake I have for decades, thinking I have to get to this point and then the Savior's atonement will kick in. You know? What's that? I've mentioned that hymn before. In humility our Savior. And the second verse says, then when we have proven worthy of thy sacrifice, Lord, let us regain thy presence, let thy glory on us shine. I'm not positive I agree with that. I know what it's trying to say. Okay, and I love the hymns. That's one of my favorite hymns, in fact.
Greatest tenor part there is in the
What's
church.
that?
The greatest tenor part in the
Yes. Yeah, there he goes. Says the word music chair. But you don't have to be a part of that sacrifice. You don't have to be worthy. In fact, the people he loves most to help are the ones who aren't worthy, because they can't do it without him. So please, when it comes to being holy, let's remember the Lord is there. If we just get up and try again, the Lord's going to be there 100% of the time. First, Brother Montgomery, and then we'll go with you, Brother Rasmussen, please.
Sorry for.
No, you're fine.
I think the parable of the prodigal son relates to what you're saying.
On so many levels.
Because here he was a wastrel. He had wasted his inheritance and was no more worthy to be called the son of his father. But his father was out looking for him and saw him far off, and when he wasn't worthy to be part of the family, and yet all he wanted was to be a servant in his father's house. And his father accepted that fully, completely, and said, put on the best robe, put a ring on your hand, and, what was the other?
Kill the fatted calf,
Kill the fatted calf,
have a feast.
and,
That's how you turn.
all of these
Yeah.
things are symbolic. There's
There
a,
and be
if you have the ring as a father, it's,
to
you know, you have the
Authority and.
the authority, you can put your impression on a wax seal and so forth. Anyway.
And amazing, someday, I guess next year, but one of the most powerful parts of that parable is, well, two things that I was having with Brother Rasmussen. He didn't just see him afar off and wait for him to come. The father, it says the father ran to him. Didn't wait for him to come. And the second thing is, how many of us,
hunt.
maybe it's just me, but how many of us can especially relate to the other side? Not just the one that ran off, but the other side who says, wait a minute,
But
all this good stuff you're doing for him, you can do that for him. The father said, everything I have is yours. Anyway, Brother Rasmussen, please.
When you're talking about the atonement, when we've proven ourselves worthy, the thought came to my mind, there are a group of people who the atonement does not apply to. And that's the 1/3 of the host of heaven left. And so when we chose to come to this earth, we then proved ourselves worthy.
There you go. Thank you. Thank you. I hope that more and more throughout my life, I can have true empathy for 1/3 and love them and wish with all my heart that they would come. Maybe it seems like they have no chance. That's what we've been taught, that they'll never come back. It still makes my heart hurt. These people that I love, if I love them like I love my brothers and sisters and more, I try, my heart really hurts because of that. But Alan, did you have something?
Yeah, I just, you mentioned this, and I think in a lot of people's lives, whether it's the absence of, or having a father figure, or getting to be a father, or getting to be a daughter or a mother, fill in the blank here, but just as we read Leviticus 19, at the end it says, "Ye shall be holy," not right now, you shall be, for I, the Lord your God, am holy. And when I look at that, in the first part it says, "Speak unto all the congregations of the children of Israel, say unto them, ye shall be holy." It just makes me think, and then we were talking about the prodigal son, and my dad would bring that up all the time with me. And he would always say, you were my prodigal son, I just didn't know if you were coming back. And my dad was always there for me. So just to think to probably the most important and the strongest relationships that I can think of as my father with me, as well as me with my children.